Randy's been trying to work some bugs out of the machine. Had a lot of handling problems. Had some DNC. Both cars completing the burnout as Sonny Tyndall getting the runner-up spot down at Orangeburg last weekend, Friday night, as a matter of fact. Here's Pontiac. Both cars carefully backed into the starting line where they laid those fresh stripes of rubber across the racing surface. That's what makes it stick. Doesn't matter how much horsepower you make. If you can't make it stick, you're not going to go anywhere. So the trick of pro modified drag racing is in the bell housing because they can. That's that clutch adjustment. That's what makes the car get down the 8th mile here at GW Leisure Boulevard. 660 feet away to that finish line. Sonny Tyndall coming up in the Atlantic Racing lane. Here in the Fire Holland lane at Randy Weatherford's beautiful blue Corvette. Randy Weatherford. Those drivers go through all their pre-race checklists, checking off things inside the cockpit of the car, setting the fan off, and making sure the fuel pumps are on and all that good stuff, folks. A lot of switches, a lot of controls inside these machines you just don't understand, you don't realize until you go back in the area and check it out. It's not like sticking a key in the ignition and going for a ride. It's a little bit more to it than that. Those cars carefully roll to the fuel station, right on in to the stage speed. Sonny Tyndall crossing the center line as Randy Weatherford, as soon as he saw Sonny in his door, he went ahead and let out the gas himself. Goes through with a 6 flat. Sonny Tyndall goes 8:41 as the car took a hard. He was in the final round last appearance here at Mooresville Dragway. He was ready to take on Tricky Ricky Smith and give him some of his own medicine. Todd Tutterow coming up in that Wild Willis over on the Atlantic Racing side here in the tower lane of the raceway. What? Motorsports 4, Jerry Williams and the gang out of Hoptown, North Carolina. Behind the controls, Dale Brinsfield. The Ford Probe. Dale out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina. And that Ford machine been doing very well this year. Jerry and Dale hooked up for a great combination in 2003. Car rebuilt by Jerry Pickle Race Cars. And Todd Tutterow sporting the new paint job, or actually repaint job, where he scuffed the guardrail here about 2 months ago. Guys getting the color reapplied after they covering up the scab, so to speak. After stuffing the guardrail down there. He'll turn on the nitrous oxide bottle. Bradley giving a fan of the door, giving Tutterow some fresh air. Cockpit. The Williams gang goes to work over here on the tower side. Jonathan Brian Williams inside the cockpit of the car, turns on the nitrous bottle. Sponsors here in the near lane. Todd Tutterow sponsored by Sammy Phillips Electric in Winston-Salem along with Regal Ford. Doug Herbert Performance Parts. Sponsors there along with Carolina Drilling and Blasting for Todd Tutterow. And while Willis ran 413 appearance here at Mooresville Dragway, Brinsfield got it down into the teens as well, down around 15. Here we go, those cars up to the staging main stage. Right on that center line, he goes through with a 433 at 137 miles per hour. He was out of the gas, and so was Tutterow with a 446 at 127. And in the near lane, Buzz Varner from Graham, North Carolina, behind the controls of Don Clemens, 104 WTQR, Secure One, Chevrolet Corvette. Power plant they call Chubby between the frame rails of that 63 Corvette owned by Don Clemens. Don the gang out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Possible 104 WTQR, Bill Clemens RV World, Cheerwine, Cheer One, Crossroads, Camper Top, Carolina Drilling and Blasting. I mean, he's got sponsors coming out of his ears, but that's what it takes, folks. It takes cash, it takes money, cabbage to make these things go fast. Cross Technology Precision Machining on board new sponsorship in 2003 with Don Clemens. Junior Dragster first round time trials to staging lanes, please. Junior Dragsters first round time trials to the staging lanes, please. Wayne 103 Way, South Carolina based Pontiac on the Atlantic Racing side. The rain turning on the nitrous oxide bottle, getting Wayne ready to fly here. Buzz Varner doing testing this fan. 413 testing up at Mooresville Park. The new power plant from Gene Fulton worked out pretty well for the guys. Looks like Wayne White having some problems there. At 173 miles per hour, track temperature about 125 degrees. That car was out of here. She moved around just a little bit down track. One flat 60-foot time, 272 to the half track, 414 at 173.5 miles per hour as Dwayne White had to shut it off early. Cigarettes, Renegade Tobacco Company Chevrolet, and Steve Vick from Mooresville, North Carolina, the near lane. On the left side, the Atlantic Racing Lane, Greg Godwin, GMB Motorsport Chevrolet Corvette from Walterboro, South Carolina. And Charles Godwin in the Tommy Mooresville Corvette, formerly belonging to Don Clemens in the game. 706-inch power plant by Charlie Buck Jr. providing the horsepower for Godwin, one of the hardest leaving cars in the business. The lower gear ratios in the transmission making the car the 330, the half-track car. Fairly quick. Nitrous oxide models for Steve Vick. He's coming in the door. Steve Vick ready to fly in the raceway. Tommy Mooney built 68 Camaro. Gene Fulton power plant for Vick. He's been on a recovery tour as the car is suffering through some mechanical problems, but the guy's got it figured out. He has been making some good runs here lately. Let's see what he's got here in the mail. Steve Vick got it going on. 415 and a 435 for Godwin. 15 at 174.5 for Steve Vick. 103.60, 274 to the half track, and then that top end power, 415 at 174. So in round number one. They've had a little while to adjust and try to figure out how to make the cars get down the 8 mile here. Warming the hides on the back of these machines, about $1,000 worth of rubber wrapped the rear wheels on these race cars. Good for about 20 to 30 runs, folks, and it's time for another $1,000 set of tires. Kind of like buying, 100 pairs of Jordans for your kids, about every month. Backing into the tracks right now, the Tucson Cigarettes Renegade Tobacco Company 1968 Camaro of Steve Vick from Mooresville, North Carolina. Remember, folks, down at Steve Vick's trailer, now we return your free sample of Tucson cigarettes. You must be 21 years of age or older with valid ID. Jensen out in front lines up her husband. of the Atlantic Racing Lane. Greg Godwin trying to find a sticky spot here on the tower side. After Dwayne was kind of messed up with that oil spill, but once again, the track officials there, Mooresville Dragway, doing a fine job getting that starting line surface, the racing surface back to the way it needs to be. He has problems big for 16 with a 3. He does not improve on round 1 time. He'll stay on a 4:15 from round 1 qualifying, but once again, a good run for Steve. 4:16 at 171 miles per hour. Godwin out of the gas. Looks like your number 1 qualifier, Buzz Varner. He'll be in the Atlantic Racing Lane, and Dwayne White here on the tower side. His Pontiac Firebird. Ridgeway, South Carolina, the near lane. Once again, folks, like thank Hank Thomas Performance Products and Sunoco Race Fuels, the official sponsor of the Big 8 Racers Association Points Program. Dwayne White completes his burnout here in the Tower Lane of the Raceway. Head tire shake at round 1. Oh, my Lord, what a burnout. Buzz Varner getting it up on the chip, baby. That thing was turning some RPM and laying out some fresh rubber and a lot of smoke covering us up here in the Diamond Tower. One of WTQR Secure One. Pure Wine, Bill Clemens & Sons RV World, some of the sponsors there along with Carolina Drilling and Blasting, for Don Clemens and the gang, along with Prompt Technology Precision Machining, and MJ Running and Fabrics, and sponsors there for Don's Corvette, built by Jerry Hyde's Race Cars. Buzz Varner from Graham, North Carolina, behind the controls of that machine. They're reaching in there, turning on the nitrous oxide model, putting that thing ready to rock and roll. As Buzz purges the system to build a line for nitrous oxide. Ready to make his slams down the here on Eagle Boulevard. Dwayne White doing the same here on the tower side. Green out in front. Giving Dwayne the spots, and right here, man, put the front end right here. This is where it's sticky. Mike doing the same crew chief for Buzz, rolling him up to the starting line. Dwayne White trying to improve. He had to get out of it first round. Didn't make the pass. Buzz with the team. He's still number 1. Buzz Varner moving around a little bit. Top end of the raceway goes 425, but no speed. Do believe he knocked out the speed light. But a 425 to Dwayne White's 432. So 432 for Dwayne White and a 425 for Buzz. JW Motorsports Ford. We in the Atlantic Racing Lane. Dale Brinsfield ready to start his burnout procedure. That big wild 41 Willis out of Louisville, North Carolina, the Wild Motorsports team. Brings that wild machine. Got the paint job back on it where he stuffed the guardrail about a couple months ago here at Mooresville Dragway. Federal sponsored by Sammy Phillips Electric, Regal Ford, and Winston-Salem, along with Carolina Drilling and Blasting. And Doug Herbert Performance Parts down in Cherryville, North Carolina. For all your parts, accessories, and needs, just call down to Doug Herbert. He can fix you right up. Jonathan and Brian Williams getting Dale Brinsfield ready to go there. They turn on the nitrous oxide system. Dale gets to the third line. Tedero doing the same as well. Here on the Tower Side Raceway. Gene Fulton prepared 706-inch power plant for Tedero. Brinsfield, JW, we believe somewhere in the neighborhood of 705 cubic inches of Ford. Dan Beck Ford, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Ice Brothers Automotive and State School. Let me have foot brake to the staging lane, please, for your time trial. Foot brake to the staging lane, please, for your time trial. Foot brake. Shut it off early. There goes Brinsfield with a 420 at 167 miles per hour, 101 the 60-foot time, 275 to the half track, 420.